So today in Korea, there was another major court hearing in the ongoing legal battle between Hee-jin and Belift Lab. And if you need a refresher, because it's been a bit, this is the 2 billion won, roughly 20 million US dollars, damages lawsuit that Belift Lab filed against Hee-jin after her April 2024 press conference. During that press conference, Hee-jin argued that Islet had copied new genes across multiple areas. She referenced how people online were already describing Islet as Hee-jin's style, Hee-jin-esque, even a New Jeans derivative. Now, Belift claims those statements damaged Islet's reputation and argues that Hee-jin essentially used a rookie girl group as collateral damage in her larger fight against Hybe. And during today's hearing, Belift Lab's side went even further with that argument. According to multiple reports from the courtroom, Belift Lab argued that the core of this case is not simply about whether Hee-jin voiced an opinion. Their legal team claims she intentionally targeted Islet as part of a broader strategy to pressure Hybe, while allegedly attempting to separate New Jeans from the company. They argued that Hee-jin, as someone deeply experienced in the K-pop industry, fully understood the impact that accusations like copying or plagiarism could have on a newly debuted group. Belift's side repeatedly emphasized that Islet were innocent rookie idols who became the victims of a calculated public campaign. One of the strongest statements from Belift Lab compared Hee-jin's actions to a lion in the Serengeti, searching for prey, claiming she explored different ways to attack Hybe labels before ultimately seeking Islet as the target. They also pointed to Kakao Talk messages and internal conversations previously revealed during the larger Hybe conflict. Belift's lawyers claim those messages showed planning, media strategy discussions, attempts to collect public criticism about Islet, even conversations about framing issues in ways that could damage Hybe and its labels. Belift Lab argued this proves the press conference was not some emotional off-the-cuff reaction, or rather part of a deliberate campaign. But Hee-jin's side pushed back just as strongly. Her legal team argued that the comments about Islet happened while she herself was under what they described as a witch hunt. During the management rights dispute with Hybe, they said the statements came during an emotionally desperate situation where Hee-jin was trying to defend herself publicly after massive media coverage and accusations against her. According to Hee-jin's side, the now famous comments about Islet were only a small portion of a nearly 2-hour press conference and came while answering questions about Hybe's multi-label system. Hee-jin's side also argued something very important legally, which is that Hee-jin's team says her comments were opinions, not factual declarations of copyright infringement. And that distinction means a lot. Her lawyers argue that saying something resembles, imitates, or copies the vibe of another group is fundamentally different from claiming literal copyright theft. They said she was talking about concepts, styling, choreography points, fashion, photo compositions, debut presentation methods, and overall similarities in impression, not making a formal legal accusation of plagiarism. And another major point from Hee-jin's side was this. They argued that the perception of similarity between Islet and New Jeans already existed publicly before Hee-jin ever spoke about it. Hee-jin's lawyers repeatedly stated that journalists, industry figures, online communities, music critics had already been making those comparisons. In other words, their argument is basically that Hee-jin did not create this narrative from scratch. She merely commented on a conversation that already existed. Now, Belift Lab rejected that argument entirely. Their side insists that this was never about copyright law specifically, despite Hee-jin's team framing it that way. Instead, Belift argued that the issue is that a highly influential industry executive publicly presented damaging claims in a way that harmed Islet's reputation, regardless of whether the word copyright was used. Belift also reportedly brought up earlier presentation materials comparing choreography across multiple Hybe groups, including G-Friend and New Jeans, arguing that many dance moves and stylistic choices are common within the industry, not uniquely created by Hee-jin. Meanwhile, Hee-jin's side argued that while any single similarity might exist elsewhere, the overall combination of styling, branding, choreography points, photography, presentation, and debut strategy is what led so many people to compare Islet to New Jeans in the first place. The judge also appeared to acknowledge just how massive and complicated this entire conflict has become. The court reportedly stated that there are too many indirect facts and too many side issues to examine endlessly one by one, and said they intend to move toward wrapping up the case after a few more hearings. The next hearing is scheduled for July 10th. And right now, as you can see, it is clear that Hee-jin's team and Belift Lab's legal team are miles apart in how they are framing this. After all, Belift Lab is framing this as a calculated reputational attack carried out by one of the industry's most powerful creative executives during a corporate conflict. Meanwhile, Hee-jin's side is framing it as defensive speech made during an intense public crisis while responding to questions about similarities that many people were already discussing publicly. And ultimately, the court now has to decide where the line is between protected opinion, public criticism, reputational harm, and intentional malice. So originally I was going to cover the Source Music lawsuit hearing in this video as well, since it was initially scheduled for the same day, but that hearing has actually been postponed at the last minute. According to reports, Source Music requested a change of hearing date earlier this month, and the court officially pushed the hearing back from May 15th to May 29th. And that case is another damages lawsuit against Hee-jin. This, for now, the main focus coming out of this hearing was just the Belift Lab and Hee-jin arguments. But that's my latest update for now. Be sure to follow for more updates on these cases, any new jeans news, or other K-pop news and coverage.